Discover Canada's secrets, facts, and curiosities you didn't know about the country of the North. Have you ever wondered what secrets Canada hides, such a vast and diverse country? From breathtaking natural landscapes to a vibrant culture, this northern country has so much to offer beyond what we commonly know. Did you know that Canada is home to over 31,000 lakes and that its history is full of fascinating facts and curiosities that few know? This video is for you. Get ready to discover surprising facts about Canada that you probably didn't know. Do you dare to get to know the northern country like never before? Canada, the vast and enigmatic country located in the far north of North America, is a place full of surprises. It is difficult to encompass its magnitude, diversity, and richness in a single glance. From its breathtaking natural landscapes to its technological innovations, there are aspects of Canada that many are unaware of. There is much more to this country than its reputation for being cold and laid back. Over the centuries, Canada has left a profound mark on the world, and on this tour, you'll discover fascinating facts and trivia you may not have known about this wonderful country. With an area of 9,984,670 square kilometers, Canada is the second largest country in the world by area, second only to Russia. However, despite its size, Canada has a relatively small population compared to its vast territory. With around 38 million inhabitants, which represents only 0.5% of the world's population, the population density in Canada is one of the lowest in the world. This means that, in many parts of Canada, nature is much more present than the big cities. In fact, more than 80% of the Canadian population lives in urban areas, especially near the U.S. border. One of Canada's most distinctive features is its cultural diversity. This country has historically been a melting pot of cultures, with a large number of immigrants from all over the world. Today, almost 200 different ethnicities and cultures coexist peacefully in its territory, making Canada one of the most multicultural countries on the planet. Ottawa, Canada's capital, is home to an impressive array of museums and monuments that reflect this rich cultural diversity. In addition, Canadian policy has been characterized by its openness and welcome to immigrants, which has contributed to its economic and social development. Although many associate Canada with endless winters and extremely cold temperatures, the truth is that the country has a wide variety of climates. From the cold northern regions to the mild winters of the West Coast, where Vancouver enjoys milder winters, Canada has a surprisingly diverse climate. In fact, one of the highest temperatures ever recorded in Canada was 49.6 degrees Celsius in 1937 in the town of Lytton, in the province of British Columbia, an example of how temperatures can vary drastically depending on the region. One of Canada's greatest natural wonders is its impressive system of lakes and rivers. The country is home to 20% of the world's fresh water, and its lakes are some of the largest and deepest on the planet. Lake Superior, shared with the United States, is the largest freshwater lake in the world, with a surface area of 82,100 square kilometers. In addition, the country has more than 31,000 lakes of considerable size, making it a paradise for nature lovers and water sports enthusiasts. Canada is also famous for its flora and fauna. The vast expanses of forests and wilderness are home to an incredible diversity of animals, many of which are emblematic of Canadian culture. Moose, polar bear, beaver, and gray wolf are just a few examples of the animals that can be found on Canadian soil. In fact, the beaver is so important in Canadian history that it is the country's national animal. In the 17th century, the beaver fur industry was fundamental to the Canadian economy and helped establish the first European colonies in the north of the continent. An interesting curiosity is that Canada has two official languages, English and French. This linguistic duality is due to the country's colonial history, which was under the control of France and later England. Although English is the most widely spoken language, French has a significant presence, especially in the province of Quebec, where the majority of the inhabitants are French-speaking. This French influence is reflected not only in the language, but also in the architecture, gastronomy, and traditions of the region. In the realm of sports, ice hockey is undoubtedly the most popular sport and an integral part of Canada's national identity. Field hockey was invented in Canada in the 19th century and has grown to become a national passion. Canadians follow their local teams and national teams with fervor. In addition, Canada has produced some of the greatest field hockey players in history, such as Wayne Gretzky, who is considered by many to be the greatest field hockey player of all time. Field hockey is not only a sport, but a fundamental part of Canadian culture. Despite its vast territory, Canada has an impressive infrastructure that connects its citizens across long distances. The Trans-Canada Highway, which stretches more than 7,800 kilometers from the east coast to the west coast, is one of the longest highways in the world. This highway connects major Canadian cities and facilitates trade and mobility across the country, making travel across Canada's vast territory more accessible. In addition to its technological and infrastructural achievements, Canada is known for its progressive human rights and social welfare policies. In 1969, it was one of the first countries in the world to decriminalize homosexuality, and in 2005, Canada became the fourth country to legalize same-sex marriage. This progressive approach to civil rights and equality issues has been a model for other nations in terms of inclusiveness and respect for individual rights. In terms of cuisine, Canada also has a rich and varied culinary offering. Although many associate Canadian food with poutine, French fries topped with cheese and gravy, the country offers a wide variety of delicious dishes that reflect its diverse cultural influences. From the traditional meatloaf of the Atlantic region to the flavors of Asian and Mediterranean cuisine, Canada has something for everyone. In addition, its fresh produce, such as maple syrup and East Coast seafood, is highly prized both in Canada and internationally. Canada is also a leader in research and development in a variety of areas, from technology to health. The country has pioneered innovations such as the development of insulin, which has saved millions of lives around the world. It has also played a crucial role in the advancement of artificial intelligence and environmental sciences. In addition, the quality of the Canadian healthcare system is internationally recognized, offering universal and accessible healthcare to all citizens. A curious fact that many people do not know is that Canada has more than 2,000 national and provincial parks. These parks are a sign of the country's commitment to the conservation of the environment and its biodiversity. In these natural spaces, visitors can enjoy activities such as hiking, wildlife viewing, and camping, all while experiencing the incredible beauty of Canada's landscapes. Canada has also been a major player in the international arena, actively participating in international organizations such as the United Nations, NATO, and the G7. Throughout its history, the country has maintained a foreign policy based on peace and diplomacy, and has played a key role in the resolution of international conflicts. In addition, Canada is known for its commitment to humanitarian aid and global development, being a major donor of aid to developing countries. In short, Canada is a country full of history, culture, nature, and scientific advances that make it a fascinating place to explore and learn about. From its vast landscapes to its focus on human rights and sustainability, Canada remains an example of how a country can thrive while respecting its diversity and preserving its environment. Without a doubt, this northern country has much to offer, and there will always be something new to discover. Canada is a country renowned for its cultural diversity, and in large part, this is due to its history of immigration. From its beginnings as a French and British colony, Canada has welcomed people from all over the world, which has transformed its social and cultural fabric. This intermingling has given rise to a rich variety of customs, festivals, and traditions. For example, Canada Day, celebrated every July 1st, is one of the country's most significant celebrations. On this day, parades, concerts, and fireworks are held in every province, celebrating both the unity of the country and its diversity. One of Canada's most characteristic traditions is the use of maple syrup, which is extracted from maple trees, typical of the country. The process to obtain this syrup has been part of Canadian culture since the time of the Indigenous peoples. Today, a large quantity of this sweet product is produced, especially in the Quebec region, which is the world's largest producer. During the colder months of the year, Canadians enjoy the Sugar Shack, where they can sample maple syrup-based products such as tarte au sucre, sugar cake, a delicious recipe that honors the tradition of the syrup harvesting season. In terms of architecture, Canada has adopted a fusion of styles that reflect both its colonial history and its modernity. In cities like Quebec, you can find buildings with a clear French influence, such as the famous Chateau Frontenac, one of the most photographed hotels in the world. On the other hand, cities like Toronto and Vancouver are home to impressive skyscrapers and modern architectural complexes, reflecting the dynamism and continuous growth of this country. Canada's relationship with music is another fascinating aspect of its culture. Over the years, the country has produced some of the world's most influential artists. Singer Leonard Cohen, singer Celine Dion, and the famous Justin Bieber are just a few of the names that have left a mark on global music. In addition, the country is known for its vibrant music scene that ranges from rock, pop, and jazz to indigenous and folk music. One of the most popular festivals is the Montreal Jazz Festival, which attracts thousands of people each year and is considered one of the largest in the world. Canadians are also known for their love of cinema. Throughout the history of Canadian cinema, there have been numerous renowned directors, such as David Cronenberg, Xavier Dolan, and Denis Villeneuve. Films such as The Grey Zone and Blade Runner 2049, which have received international critical acclaim, reflect the talent of Canadian filmmakers. In addition, the Toronto International Film Festival, TIFF, is one of the most prestigious festivals in the world, attracting an international crowd each year and becoming a showcase for global cinema. As for sports, in addition to ice hockey, lacrosse is another national sport in Canada. Lacrosse has deep roots in the indigenous cultures of North America and is played professionally across the country. Although less popular than field hockey, lacrosse has a very loyal fan base and is played by people of all ages, from youth to adults. Canada is also a country that deeply appreciates nature and conservation. Much of its territory is covered by forests, mountains, and national parks. Banff National Park, located in the Rocky Mountains of Alberta, is one of the country's most iconic destinations, famous for its crystal-clear waters and breathtaking scenery. Canadians are very conscious of the importance of preserving the environment, and the country is a leader in ecological initiatives and environmental policies. A lesser-known curiosity is that Canada is home to one of the largest libraries in the world, the Library of Parliament in Ottawa. This impressive structure is not only a center of knowledge and culture, but also a historic site of great architectural value. The library was built in the 19th century, and its design reflects the Gothic revival, with a domed ceiling that is simply spectacular. In addition to its cultural and educational importance, the Library of Parliament also houses a rich collection of historical documents dating back to the early days of the country. The country also has a rich literary tradition, with Canadian authors such as Margaret Atwood, Alice Munro, and Michael Ondaatje, who have won international awards and have been translated into several languages. Their works explore profound themes of Canadian identity, history, and nature, and have helped cement Canada's reputation as a literary nation. On the other hand, life in small Canadian communities has its own charm. Many of these towns, especially in the Atlantic provinces such as Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, preserve centuries-old fishing traditions. Coastal villages in these provinces are known for their hospitality and residents' strong connection to the sea. Life in these areas often revolves around fishing, and maritime traditions, such as regattas and sea-related festivals, are highly anticipated events. Canada has also played an important role in the history of aviation. It was home to the first non-stop transatlantic flight by a Canadian pilot, John Alcock and Arthur Whitten Brown, in 1919. Their feat earned them worldwide recognition and left a mark in aviation history. Today, Canada remains a major player in the aerospace industry, with companies such as Bombardier producing some of the world's most advanced aircraft. Art in Canada also reflects the diversity of its population. Artists such as painter Tom Thomson and famed artist Emily Carr are known for their unique style and depiction of Canadian nature. Carr's work, in particular, focuses on the life of Indigenous communities and the West Coast landscape, and has had a lasting impact on Canadian cultural identity. In addition, art galleries in cities such as Montreal and Toronto house some of the world's most important contemporary art collections, showcasing the country's burgeoning artistic talent. Throughout its history, Canada has also struggled to recognize and value Indigenous culture. Over the years, Native peoples have faced numerous hardships, from colonization to land loss. However, in recent decades, there has been a resurgence of Indigenous languages, traditions, and customs, and the country has made efforts to recognize and preserve Indigenous heritage. The National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, celebrated every September 30th, is an important step towards reconciliation between Indigenous peoples and the rest of the Canadian population, commemorating historical injustices and celebrating the Indigenous cultures that remain alive in the country. Canada, with its vast geography, rich history, and diverse population, is a country full of cultural wonders, curiosities, and fascinating facts that continue to shape its identity as a unique nation in the world. If you have been amazed by all that Canada has to offer, don't forget to subscribe to the World in Evolution channel to continue discovering more fascinating facts about the most amazing corners of the planet. Also, don't forget to visit our website selfmatamillionaires.online to access exclusive content that will help you grow personally and professionally. See you in the next video.